Here.
Brown, R.J. Davis, Dan Duncan, James Burchard,
Here.
Tom Stone, Chairman Steve Foster,
Present.
3 present.
Okay, we don't have a quorum if somebody joins us later. We have the minutes for 10/27, and I'm not sure how to handle that because we really can't officially approve them anyway.
Chairman, you could just ask if anyone has any questions or comments
Yeah,
about
that's
it.
all I can do. Yeah. The copy of the minutes was sent out. It's for the 27th. Okay, is there any questions on those? If not, we can move on to the agenda, which we can approve it as it is, but it doesn't hold much evidence. Is everybody in favor of the agenda? Is there any questions on the agenda before we move on? Now, okay, if not, audience comments. Do you have any audience comments?
No, Chairman, I do not.
Okay, no audience comments. The payrolls will be for 11/20. So we're okay on that, aren't we? We're okay on the payroll
Yes, sir.
because we'll approve it. We'll send that on to the council then.
That's
Yes.
correct.
Yes, so the city clerk's report then, we'll go, well, is there any questions on the vouchers payable? That's for 11/24, I should ask that. Okay, no questions from the existing committee, so we'll send that on to the full council. So we're up to city clerk's report, Liza Munson.
Okay. Thank you, Chairman. We are currently working on the annual meeting schedule, the FOIA directory, and the semi-annual liquor license and business license renewals. And we're also assisting IT with Laserfish documents and forms management, which I think Administrator DeStilva will talk about later. That's all I
Okay.
have.
Any questions for the clerk? Okay. On Danville Mass Transit, there is a resolution for her authorizing execution and amendment of a downstate operating assistance grant agreement. And since it's a grant, it's money. So does anybody have any questions on the resolution? Because you all received a copy of it. It'd have been somewhere on there. Maybe not. But at any rate, we can send that on to the council then if there's no questions. Under item B, there's no items of information, is there? Is Liza Beth there? Yeah, Liza, do you have any comments? She can't hear me.
Doesn't look like she does.
Okay. Well, regardless, she sounds like she's gone. Now on finance, actually, we do have a resolution authorizing the budget amendment in the finance. That's for $3,378. Does anybody have any questions on this resolution? We can't put it on the floor, but actually is here to answer any questions on it. It's just a budget amendment. Okay, and item B is a authorization, acceptance of a donation of budget amendments in the police department. We got $4,500 donated and $4,021 of it's going to be used to reimburse the overtime. I think that's how I read it. Does anyone have any questions on that for Ashley? Boy, they're a well-versed crowd out here tonight. All right, on C, we have an amending the general fund for Harrison Park. There's budget cuts to create a line, and we could take actually they're all kind of related, so we could do C, D, and E, just look at them together. One is for $35,000. They need to have a transfer because the budget fell short because of the virus and everything. So that would be a resolution we'll have to send on to the council. But is there any questions on that transfer? Y'all understand, we're just shorting the budget. Okay, and D then would be authorizing a budget amendment in Harrison Park for the workman's compensation and general liability insurance. And I didn't look close at that. So is there any questions on it?
Mr. Foster, are we authorizing like 60,000 or 65,000 worth of budget amendments for Harrison Park, or does the general liability and the workman's compensation and the loan payment come out of that 35,000?
No, I don't. I'm not sure about that. I tell you what, I've got it here. Let's look.
Chairman, the comptroller could probably answer that for you as well.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Alderman McMahon, you're absolutely correct. So the first resolution is to move 35,000 from the general fund to the Harrison Park Fund. It's come up short in hotel motel tax revenue, as you know, and then there were a few things in the budget for this year that were budgeted short of what was needed. And then out of that 35,000, we're using that to amend the budget to pay the workers' comp and the golf cart loan. So
Yeah,
yes.
it's almost like a transfer, yeah.
Right, so we're really giving them 35,000.
Correct.
So
Right.
if that's all they came up short this year because of COVID, then that's pretty good. I mean, I think so.
And if they don't spend it all, I guess they probably will, though, but we'll get some back. And then item E was a resolution for a budget amendment in Harrison Park. There was two of them. One is for a repayment of golf cart loan. So there's one for $181, and the golf cart is $15,362. That's what we're going to be voting on. Any questions on those two, Ashley?
I feel like I should just clarify a little. So
Sure.
The budget for this year did not have enough in the expenditure lines to pay the increase in the commercial insurance, so workers' comp and general liability. And we have two golf cart loans, and this year we're paying the last payment on the 2016 golf carts and the first payment on our new 2019 golf carts. Only one of the loan payments ended up in this year's budget. I think it was just an oversight, a mistake. So we're amending the budget for that. And the reason I reference we're short on hotel motel tax revenue is to say that there's not really anything in Harrison Park's cash account to pull from. There's no reserves there. Clifton Larson was just at the last council meeting and was commenting on, where Harrison Park's net position was. They ended this past fiscal year with $20,000 in cash. And we're kind of counting on that cash for next year's budget. As you've seen, we're budgeting a deficit budget still because of COVID. So that's the reason for the general fund transfer. There's still a possibility we might not meet our revenue projections for hotel motel, but that's how that kind of all ties together. So I just wanted to clarify that.
Yeah, the first is $181. The second one on the loan is $15,362, just about. Did you have any questions for Ashley on it? If not, we'll forward that on to the general counsel for approval. Item F is, do you have any other information I should ask you? Ashley?
I do not. I just have my risk manager and personnel report, and I believe our risk manager, Kathy Corson's here with us this evening.
Yeah, all right, Kathy, we'll call on you then.
Kathy, you're muted.
You're trying to unmute yourself.
That's all right. We got lots of time tonight.
Okay, well, good evening, everybody. I was able to get the report, and I wanted to go over that a little bit with you. For workers' comp in October, we did have 2 work comp claims. Both of them did require treatment. Only one required time off. And of course, that was because it was a COVID-related workers' comp. So it did have quarantine time with it. So that's what that is from. With liability claims in October, we actually did have 5. I'm sorry, that was a typo on that bottom one. That was for October, not November, for that last one. But the majority of them have been where we're going to be billing other people's insurances or other people for damages done to city property.
Okay, any questions for Kathy? No questions. It's a good break for department heads. All right, personnel monthly report. Who's going to give that? No one's here? Okay, well, we probably haven't hired anybody or fired anybody anyway, right? So next would be item F is 3. Is any item information then anymore? That would be on the finance.
Chairman, I would just like to thank Comptroller Massey. She is actually on vacation yet still joined us anyways because she's dedicated and wanted to make sure she answered any questions you have. So thank you, Ashley.
Yeah, well, we appreciate it very much. I did see Don. So we'll move to fire. Chief McMasters, if you have any item information, I see we have your monthly incident report.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Monthly incident report, October was I wouldn't go so far as to say a slow month. We had 5 fires in October. The more thing, I guess, with the slow month of that, 5 is about the norm, but we only had about $28,000 worth of loss in those 5 fires. So it was kind of a small, slow month, if you will, in October with fires. However, I believe I've got 4 fires, which is about par for the course as well. We've got about 4 fires so far in this month of November. They've been a little bit larger dollar figures, which obviously we will have for the next meeting. But fire's been steady as normal, nothing out of the ordinary. I do have, on a positive note, I do have 2 of my 3 new hires have started shift, one yesterday, the other today. So that will help to make a drastic drop in my overtime budget. The 3rd individual is supposed to graduate from the academy on the 3rd of December, for 3rd or 4th, whatever that Friday is. I believe it's the 4th of December. He will graduate, and then shortly after that, he will go on to shift, which then will help as well with my manning. Just a little bit of catch up, because since we've been not meeting, yes meeting, not meeting, yes meeting, I'm not sure which ones I haven't covered of this. So just an FYI on a couple of things as far as grants. We applied for an AFG grant that was for COVID related materials. That was supposed to be 100% grant. In September, we were denied that grant. They did not give it to us. However, we have just, the Office of the State Fire Marshal has just opened up their small tools grants for the year. And we are going to basically rewrite the AFG COVID grant for the COVID materials to submit that in the small tools grant for the State Fire Marshal's office, which is also 100% funding grant. It wouldn't be no money off the top for us. With that, we will apply for masks, what we call PAPR machines, which are powered air purifying masks that we would wear for dealing with COVID patients, as well as other things we would use them for, as well as reusable as opposed to disposable coveralls and gowns and things for us to utilize when we're handling COVID patients. We're basically going to rewrite the grant from AFG to submit it to the fire marshal's office. It's not a huge chance of us getting it, simply because the fire marshal's grants have always been where they kind of like to spread the wealth to all departments that need things. And we have already received a small tools grant from them before, so it's not as high of a probability for us to get a grant. However, obviously right now their priority on the small tools and equipment is all COVID based. So instead of applying for something else that would be a less likelihood of us getting granted, we decided to go ahead and apply for more COVID materials, because that gives us a little bit more chance of maybe them giving us a second look and giving us the money. Also, too, which I may or may not have passed along, in August, we were awarded a FEMA grant for $363,375. And that is, again, 100% grant. That is because of the hardship waiver that they accepted from us. That is no money off the top for us. That is to replace 45 of our SCBA, our breathing apparatus that we wear, that we use pretty much daily on the fire station at fires. That includes 45 new SCBA, which covers every vehicle and every person we have. We get 2 new RIT bags, which is the rescue bag that we carry to where if someone would go down in a fire, or we have a rescue of a person inside a fire, we drag the bag in that has a mask and air with it, and we hook up to bring the people back out, as well as a couple of PAPRs that will be utilized by our investigators while they're on scene investigating fires, so that they're not taking in the carbon monoxide and things. That is all included in the grant at $363,375, and that is a 100% paid grant. We are in the process right now of starting the ball of getting demos from different companies to demo the air packs to determine what we want and put it out for bid and everything. And because of it being the end of the year with everything else, we're trying to expedite finishing this before the 31st of December because to maximize our money, because prices of everything will go up January 1, at least 5%. So we're trying to hurry and get at least on black and white on paper from one of the companies a quote so that they're committed to the dollar figure before the first of the year so we can get those purchased. That's where we stand on grant stuff right now. As far as the department's concerned, as of right now, I say this very carefully. Everyone is healthy as far as the COVID's concerned. Our people that were off for COVID related have been returned to work, healed. And as well as I do not have any family members currently positive at home that are subjecting their family to them and then coming back to work. So as of right now, we're in good shape for that. Any questions?
Any questions at all for Chief McMasters?
I do have a question. How did your training burn go?
Training, well, the training burn went pretty well. We used it for training. We used the building for training for quite some time. And then when we decided to burn it, we just lit it and burn it to the effect of very, very hot, very fast. I started videotaping it once it broke through the roof, and I taped for about 5 minutes. And in the course of the 5 minutes, I had to back up 3 times because it was getting so hot, as well as one of the vehicles that we had close by to spray down the grass and the woods nearby was close enough. We were concerned we were going to start blistering the paint, so we backed it up as well. That went very well. The first one went down. It actually caught a very large tree on fire next to it. About 30 feet in the air because it was a hollow tree, of course. So Public Works came out and they dropped the tree for us to make so that was not of a concern. And then it actually sat and smoldered for a couple of days. And the leftover remains of the tree that were there, the neighbor right next door has a wood burner and works for one of the tree cutting services for a living. So he asked us if he could have it. And so for the next couple nights after that, he went over there and cut stuff off of the burning tree as it was smoldering to take what he could of the firewood off of it so that's less things we have to haul off. So that went very well. The house that was supposed to be burnt by the academy students as part of their academy training got canceled, as did the academy several times because of COVID exposures. So tentatively, we are going to hold that building for the academy to burn it in the spring instead. The third house that we have been training in weekly for the past month and a half, it is on Madison Street. We are tentatively going to burn that the first week of December. It will come down. So after the first week, if the weather cooperates, after the first week of December, we'll have 2 of the 3 down. The third one we'll use for training through the winter and into the spring until the academy burns it in the spring.
Okay. I just think, it would be really nice if, make sure you let us all know so that at least some of the aldermen, could be present and watch the burn and watch what you do. And
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. We could, the second house that we've got to burn the first week of December, it's in fairly decent shape structurally as well. In fact, like I say, we've been training in it for some time. In fact, that's where we did the burns that you came out for, as well as the reporters came out for and went inside with us and took a bunch of video and stuff and did a news story on it. That house is, even though we've burnt in each of 3 rooms in the house, it's still pretty structurally sound. So it although just like anything else, if we set it right, it'll go up fast.
Thank you.
Thanks. Now, well, let the council know if they want to come out and see the burn. That might be of interest.
Okay, absolutely.
Any other questions for Chief McMasters? Thank you very much, Chief. We go down to human relationship, and look, there's Sandra. There are full faces there.
Yeah, I'm here. Good evening. For the period of October 20th through November 16th, the office handled 28 cases, which consisted of 4 police complaints, 12 employment complaints, 2 complaints against city employees, now 9 housing complaints, and 1 public accommodation complaint. Any questions regarding the complaints?
Any questions for Sandra on that?
Sandra, are those about normal for that time?
Normal in reference to the number of complaints?
Yes.
Yes,
I
that's
mean,
pretty
is that
normal.
high or low or just kind of average?
It's pretty normal, pretty average,
Pretty
yes.
normal.
Mhm. I just want to mention, go ahead.
I just want to say, what you may be going to talk about, what provisions, if any, is there plans for homeless aid or anything over the holidays coming up? Are you looking at, is there money left for that or?
Yes, we do have more money. And so please let people know if they have, any concerns about needing funding, especially if it's for COVID related funding, they need to call my office at 431-2280. Yes, we're still handling those type of situations and we still have funding. So please let the people know about it.
Yeah, all your aldermen usually have money, help with water, or eat something like that, or even moving people if they lose a house. So thank you, Sandra.
I just want to say that the deadline to apply for the scholarship is Friday, December 4th. So, we're coming around the corner for that deadline. So please let people know, young people know that they can apply for the scholarship and it has to be in my office by 4:30 on December the 4th. And I just want to reiterate that we're only going to have one program for the MLK celebration, and it's going to be that Monday at 11:30 at St. James. We're working out all the kinks in reference to that, but we will not have a banquet and we will not have a march/motorcade. We have to, comply with the restrictions for the pandemic. So the best way to handle the situation is just have one program and limited number of people at the service.
What's the date on that again, Sandra?
The date for the MLK celebration will be
Yes.
January 18th, 2021.
Okay.
And you'll be able to streamline the program. I mean, so in reference to not being able to have all the people in the church, you can streamline the program. So you can still see who the scholarship winner is going to be, who the speaker is going to be, as well as having the mayor and the committee members at the program.
Okay, awesome.
Anything else for
That's all I have.
Sandra? Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good Thanksgiving. And thanks
You
for
too.
coming in tonight.
Thank you.
Stick around if you want. It's going to really get exciting.
Oh, I will.
Now 13 is information technology, Agno Facility. He shows he's around. There he is. There's this. Now we have a resolution approving the support amendment with the Tyler Technologies, which I won't ask for approval, but I'd like for you to review that with us, and particularly what happened with Tyler and where they stand now, because we know they had a national problem. So if you want to tell, go ahead.
Sure. I've been in touch with Tyler Technologies IT division, and they have assured us that they are up and running. They're 100% recovered. So basically, they took precautions so that they wanted to go department by department, and as well as the IT system, to make sure that they have no more malware in their system. So they're fully recovered and they're back up and running. The support is responsive. I think it's incredible how fast they recovered, and that comes back to how good of a backup system you have in place. And I appreciate all your support from the council members and mayor approving our backup system a few weeks ago, which really helped us. I feel a little bit better now. We have a good backup system on-site as well as cloud. So as you all recall, back in 2015, we went on board with Tyler Technologies for our ERP system. A year later, they merged New World System. Tyler Technologies acquired New World Systems, and at that time, we were not too happy, but then, they convinced us that nothing is going to change, the program is going to be supported and whatnot. So we did not have an updated agreement with Tyler Technologies. So in order to for them to support us, we had to renew our agreement that says Tyler Technologies instead of New World. So we already pay them a yearly maintenance cost. That's not going to change. This agreement only shows the changes that Tyler Technologies took over the contract, and they're going to support the system going forward.
Yeah, that amounts 40 something, I think. I can't remember.
Yes, 42,446.20.
Yeah, so that's for the whole year.
That's for the whole year.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So any questions, Daniel? At all? If not, do you have any items, information, Agnew?
Yes, you would like to give you an update on a few projects. We just had a project kickoff for our website, new website, so that's exciting. We have a team here that's working on it. I appreciate all of them helping out here. We are kind of looking at 6 to 8 months project timeline and hope to finish that project by that time. We'll provide more updates as and when we get those from the company. I'm also working with the City Clerk's Department for document management and forms management system. So basically, we're going to go provide electronic forms that will cut down on all the manual, the printouts and people having to fill out forms, printed forms and whatnot. So it's all going to be electronic. And this was funded under the COVID CARES Act, I believe. We're also working on some phone system and network upgrade security projects, as well as here's another excitement. We're going to be upgrading our audio system in the City Council chambers. We'll have additional wireless mics so that each one of the aldermen, as well as the department heads, will have their own mics when we start coming on site for those meetings. We're also going to add additional equipment in there, as well as another cabinet to support that. But that's scheduled for December 9th, and we hope to get some of these projects finished by the end of this year. And last but not the least, I would like to thank Adam, Aaron, our intern Travis, for their hard work and for their continued support. I really appreciate that. And I would like to thank everyone for their support as well. That's all I have.
Okay, also, I noticed that you are asking for public comments on things that I could see on the web or information of the type. So, yeah,
That is correct.
I hope the media will get a hold of that, because some people have suggested this and that, and I just tell them to call you.
Sure, absolutely. And there is a website survey on our, survey form that it's a short survey that you can go to our website. It's right on the homepage.
Right, and they can add some things.
Yes.
Anybody else have any questions for Agnew on this? If not, I thank you very much.
Thank you, Jim.
We'll move on to legal. Is the judge still there, or is he too good for us now?
I am here. I guess the item of information is I've been appointed to a new position down the street, a couple buildings at the courthouse, and I'm going to be starting there December 18th. It looks like probably around Wednesday, December 16th will be my last day here at the city. So I met with the mayor today, and I'll be meeting with some other department heads here soon to finish up some projects and make sure we're all set before I leave. We've got a lot to do in a short period of time. I just want to say it's been a really honor and a privilege to work here, and it's been a great time, and I appreciate the opportunity, and I look forward to the next couple of weeks to finish up what we started.
Did the mayor brief you on finding your own replacement rule, or?
Well, the mayor and I have spoken about that, and I'll leave that to him to discuss if he'd like to.
If he wants to, Mayor, but I know you're going to be busy on it.
Sure. So what I've asked Chuck to do is to revise and update the job description. When I created that, I was relatively new in the position myself as mayor. And so I've asked him to add anything that I may have left out. And our hope is that we will have that position advertised starting on Monday. I also am reaching out to a couple of individuals who do municipal legal work already in the county to see if any of them might be able to help us out in the interim should we need someone in the interim. Essentially, I just want to ensure, Chairman and the committee, that we aren't without legal representation.
Well, we'll say all the goodbyes then on the 1st. You'll be here on the 1st, right? That's the next school council.
I will be, yes, and well, I'll be here until the week of December 16th as well. So got a little time.
On the 15th as well, Chairman. So for the last city council of the year, he'll be with us also.
Last two. That'll be great. Then thank you. Is any other questions or comments for legal for Charles? If not, then we need the police report. Is he available? I don't see him on here. Are you giving it, or?
I am actually going to be giving it for him. Essentially, this is just updating our agreements for our school resource officers for the upcoming year. So just the updates and agreements that we made to those. And Chief Yates will be back next week to answer any kind of questions that everyone has as well. But I think there were almost no changes.
Yeah. Does anyone have any questions for the resolutions right now? If not, we'll send it on to the council. Thank you. Items of information, I think you'll probably pass that on to the next meeting, if he has any. Do you have any items, Mayor, yourself, for the police?
No, sir, I do not.
Okay, next item on the agenda is a discussion of the 2020 levy and the fiscal year for 21-22 budget also. So,
as you all know, we had our budget study session last week. I want to thank you all for those of you who attended. I also know that some of you all had asked questions as well that were unable to attend. So I believe that you've been answered at this point and everyone has responded. But if there's any questions that you have in the meantime, please don't hesitate to contact me or Ashlyn, and we would be happy to answer any questions you have.
Great. I see that Bob Iverson, Vice Mayor Iverson, and McCain is with us. Did you gentlemen have any comments or questions for the mayor or anyone else?
No, I don't. He's answered all of them between him and the controller that I had.
Michael, you okay?
I'm good. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. Sounding good.
Alderman O'Kane, did you receive the responses about your questions, correct?
Yeah. My main concern was that I was on my phone earbuds, so I couldn't hear the other end. And I was in the phone meeting, so I was just lost because I couldn't hear you.
Thanks. Sorry about that. I think we have a simpler way going forward. It'll make life a little bit easier for us. So Adam and Aaron are going to help us out on the other end, so we don't have to make any changes internally.
So. Well, that's fine.
Well, we'll let the record show that there was 2 attendees and 12 absent on the phone call.
Alderman Pritchard and I had a lovely conversation, but we were the only two who could hear each other.
It's good. You get to know.
Yeah, he was the only one I could talk to.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. But it's only going to get easier. I think it's remarkable how everybody's put up with this and how we waded our way through it as it is. I don't have any other information. Are there any for the good of the council from any of the aldermen here, all 5 of you, and/or the mayor?
I would just like to congratulate those of you who are running for office again. I really appreciate your willingness to serve, and I hope that we'll be able to continue to be able to serve together after April of next year. So,
Mayor, I'd like to make one comment.
Sir.
I really thoroughly enjoyed your video from downtown, this Christmas lights the other day, and I shared it with my people on the Holiday Hills Neighborhood Association. I don't know how many hits I got, and they were all just in awe about it. It's beautiful. Thank you for sharing.
Well, thank you. I apologize too. I have to learn to get better at Facebook Live because I didn't know you couldn't turn. You're not supposed to turn the camera. So when I did, sometimes it went kind of sideways on y'all. I felt really bad, but lesson learned for next time. but I wanted to be able to have an opportunity for everyone who might not be able to get out in public to see it. And it's been neat, the comments that we've had. I've even had 2 phone calls just today, people saying, thank you, I'm homebound because of COVID or other things. I can't get out of the house, so they appreciate being able to see it. So I also just want to say thank you to all the guys and gals. They worked overnight shift for 2 weeks almost to get those done. And it wasn't overtime, it was a change in shift. And so I really appreciate their dedication in making that happen for the people of Danville. Also, you all should know, Santa Claus is in place downtown in Temple Plaza in the Santa House. Tomorrow, I will go and take a picture of him with him so you guys can see what he looks like. But remind everyone, we've got contests going up. Sign up for the Light Up the Night contest where people decorate their houses. Also, children can send in the coloring pages for a chance to win a bike and $50 in gift certificates. So lots of neat things that are fun and safe and socially distant that we're trying to do to help people through the holidays. So I hope you all will enjoy all of those.
Mayor, we're having a contest out here in Holiday Hills for the Neighborhood Association.
Okay.
I will be announcing it next week after Thanksgiving.
Okay.
You know, and we're going to award some prizes, you know, and Ashton's husband, Ethan's made up a couple of signs to acknowledge those homes that have been, you know, lit up. I don't know what we're going to call it yet, holiday, lighten up Holiday Hills or whatever, but we'll think of something. But there's a lot of people out here that likes to decorate. I'm already decorated, but I'm not in the contest.
Okay,
But,
great.
we're
Alderman Bouchard, will you also encourage those folks to enter the citywide contest too?
sure. Yes, we'll. Okay.
Chairman, I think Vice Mayor Iverson has a comment.
Yes. Sure.
Actually, I have a question. Since the mayor brought up the elections and people running again, do you know yet what the procedure is if we don't get a candidate in Ward 2, or are you still researching?
It's my understanding that if we don't have a candidate in Ward 2, that I would appoint a person. And I believe, this is the part that I need to make sure that I verify, but I believe then that person would serve until the next municipal election. And then someone would just have to, they would have to run for a 2-year term. I think that's how that would work.
So you'd have both of the seats in Ward 2 would be up the next time then, if get that.
That's correct. One for 2 years. That the one that should be this year for 2 years. The other one for 4 years. Vice Mayor.
Okay. Well, hopefully someone will come to the front, and we won't have to do that.
Well, I know that I have had an inquiry or two of folks who might be interested, so we'll see.
Anyone else with the questions for the mayor? Anyone? I did have a comment. Next meeting for this committee would be on Tuesday, the 22nd. Christmas Eve is on the 24th, 2 days later on Thursday. So we don't have to make any decisions now, but you might want to consider, sometimes we don't have that much items that we might cancel that meeting, but I know in the past we have canceled some of the meetings, but I think the mayor, you can kind of look things over and make that announcement in December.
Yes, sir. And I'll check with all of you to see what travel schedules are like and such to be sure that we would even have a quorum. So
yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Thanks for that reminder, Chairman.
Yeah. Okay. Are there any other questions or comments? Well, if not, I'll entertain a motion for adjournment and officially can't vote on it. All right. Everybody want to go home?
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Have a great evening.
Have a Thanksgiving.
You always have a great holiday now. Okay.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Happy Thanksgiving, y'all.
Okay, everybody. Yeah.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you,
Good night.
Sandra.
Night.
Don, thank you.
Good night. Good
Good
night.
night all.